Hello, I'm Rebecca Turner with the Office of Special Education and Early Learning. Welcome to the second presentation of our new series on effective strategies for students with disabilities for new special education teachers. In this presentation, we will discuss ways to create and use visuals to support all learners. Visual supports are a crucial part of a special education classroom. While many students will have visual supports built into their IEP, all students can benefit from using visuals to help teach and reinforce concepts. Today, we will discuss a variety of ways to utilize visuals as a special education teacher. These include using visuals to teach expectations, routines, support instructions, using a first-then board or visual schedule, and for communication. When creating visuals, it's important to individualize your visual supports for the age or grade level of your learners. While early childhood and elementary students may utilize more clip art or cartoon style visuals, middle school and high school students may relate more to realistic and age appropriate pictures. Visuals can be used as an additional prompting level for supporting classroom expectations. Teachers of younger students may consider wearing visual cues on a lanyard for common expectations to use with all students, such as quiet, raise hand, walking feet, or listening. These visual cue rings can be utilized by all general education teachers in a co-teaching classroom, as well as all paraprofessionals supporting students. Some students may need a higher level of support and benefit from an individual ring of expectations that are individualized for their goals and reviewed by staff daily or between transitions throughout the day. Visual cues can also be used to teach appropriate volume level. Like other supports, volume level can be taught as a whole group, such as teaching students the appropriate volume for whole group or independent work time, or as an individual support for a student that may need the current volume level expectation on their desk as a reminder. Visual prompts for expectations can be used in conjunction with a whole group or individual schedule. Students may benefit from not only knowing that the next routine is walking to recess, but also visual supports for what expectations look like during recess. Visual cues may also be helpful for teaching students how to engage in classroom discussions. All students in your classroom may benefit from a poster of pictures demonstrating what it looks like to answer a question by thinking about the answer, raising your hand, and waiting your turn. Finally, consider using real pictures of a student in your classroom demonstrating target expectations. These pictures may be printed and put on a ring attached to a portable schedule or used throughout the day as a way to review and provide reminders. As we discussed in Strategy 1, visual supports can be used for daily routines and tasks. A visual checklist or task analysis can show a student what the arrival and dismissal routines look like, how to navigate the cafeteria to get to breakfast or lunch, what the special area schedule or elective schedule for the week looks like, or what routine may be during a novel event such as a field trip or assembly. Visual supports can also be used to break down the steps for self-care tasks, such as toileting or hand washing, or even for social skills, such as encouraging students to greet peers when they enter a room, or the steps for working in a small group on a project. Teachers give directions throughout the day. To support students who may have working memory deficits, have difficulty with focus and attention when directions are given, or may benefit from language supports, visuals can be added to support classroom directions. General education teachers and special education teachers can use visual supports to show matching pictures when giving a direction for an individual work task, such as first write your name, then cut, then glue, or display visuals to give directions for what to do after work is complete, such as first independent reading, then journal writing, then Chromebook. Visual supports can be used as a whole group or an individual support on a student's desk. Older students may benefit from having a portable checklist of directions that can be taken to and generalized in each classroom that they go to. Providing visual supports when directions are given builds independence and decreases students relying on the teacher to ask what to do next. As we discussed in Module 1, a classroom-wide first-then board can be used to show all students parts of the routine more closely, such as first whole group reading, then small group reading, or highlight reinforcing parts of the schedule, such as first math work, then recess. A first-then board may also be used as a first step before a full visual schedule, or to break down parts of the schedule into smaller and more manageable routines. A small blank first-then board can be printed and worn on a lanyard as part of a ring of visual cues to give staff the common language of managing behaviors with first, then, such as first calm body, then we walk down the hall. In Module 5 of this series, we'll talk more about first-then boards and how to use them for reinforcement. Older students may prefer to utilize a blank portable checklist that they can fill out at the beginning of the day to outline the daily routine and any changes that may occur in the schedule. We've reviewed the benefits of having a daily schedule in the classroom that all students can access. There may also be students that will need the support of an individualized schedule. This may look like a tactile object schedule that provides an object that represents each part of the daily routine, a portable visual schedule where a student is checking off routines or moving an arrow down the page, or a written schedule or checklist where students may have a dry erase folder or staff and the student write in their daily schedule each morning. Many students in special education classrooms benefit from schedules that give a structure to their day, predictability to routines, and can make for smoother transitions. For some students, visual schedules may need to begin with real pictures of teachers, their workspaces, and classrooms. For example, a visual schedule in August may include a picture of Miss Turner when it's time to go to the resource classroom, but this picture may be switched to a clip art picture of a classroom that represents Miss Turner's room instead after a few months. The principle can be also considered when adding personalized tasks to a student's schedule, such as get your backpack or sit at your desk. And students may need actual pictures of their own backpack or desk to manage the transition. If you find that a student becomes too overwhelmed or anxious when looking at an entire day's schedule, start small with 2 to 4 steps of what's coming next. Some students may need additional support managing the transitions on their schedule. For these students, it may be helpful to start with having a matching picture when they've reached their destination. For example, if their schedule states time for Miss Turner's room, it may be helpful for them to have a picture of Miss Turner that they carry to Miss Turner's classroom and match on a picture once they arrive. For students that receive communication-based services, such as speech or deaf and hard of hearing, always communicate with related service providers to create a plan for if students that you both work with need visual supports for communication and what that should look like. As a special education teacher, it's often helpful to have common planning time with general education teachers to plan for specific content vocabulary for each unit that you may be able to provide visual supports for. For students in guided reading groups in elementary settings, the general education teacher may provide a copy of the books that will be read during small group instruction so that visual supports can be created to accompany their instruction. For special area courses or electives, visual supports to target a unit like stringed music instruments in a music class or food groups in a health and nutrition class may help your students have equitable access to the curriculum. In middle school or high school, visuals may be part of an individual content glossary provided in each subject area. For additional information, please see the resources available here. For any questions, please contact me, Rebecca Turner. I can be reached at 502-564-4970, extension 4164, or by email at rebecca.turner@education.ky.gov. Thank you for watching this presentation on creating and using visual supports.